Danny, Tiki, and Tierney, how are you today, man?
Hey, I'm good. How you guys doing?
Doing great. All right, so be honest, and we don't need to waste a lot of time on this, but I really am curious. Be honest here. When it was 21-3, even though it wasn't really Dak's fault, were you thinking maybe kind of change things up and go to Romo or no?
Well, I was thinking of it because so many people had talked about it during the week. When Willie and Willie at all, and my feeling was, and in my opinion, this was Dak's game, and we've seen him too many times this year bail himself out of bad situations and come back when they got behind, and knowing Jason like I do. I was pretty sure that the only way Tony was going to get in the game is if Dak got injured. This was going to be Dak's game to win or lose, and sure enough, he did the right thing. He left him in. Dak brought him back. Dak and a whole bunch of other guys, and they just don't get behind 21-3 early. It's a whole different ball game, but it's hard. It's hard. To come back against a great team with a quarterback that's as hot as Aaron Rodgers is in a playoff game from 18 down. But they did it. I mean, they did it and made it a game, and it ended up being what every playoff game should be, and that is the team with the ball last wins.
Yeah, no, it was a fantastic way to watch a football game in, or at least in the divisional round of the weekend. Danny, we saw Dez Bryant kind of go. He went off, man, 132 yards and 2 touchdowns in this game. But it's felt like they didn't get all of that much use out of him during the regular season. And I wonder, was that intentional by Jason Garrett because of Dak's, I don't want to say limited experience. I can't say limitations. I think he proved that he can play that way if he needs to. But is that intentional? Because I feel like it stunted a little bit of Dak's growth, especially when you knew you had to play this game to the hilt against Green Bay.
Yeah, well, it's intentional from the standpoint that the priority was not to get the ball to Dez. The priority was give Dak some easy throws, and that means Cole Beasley, and that means Jason Witten, and those guys running those short routes and over the middle. And when you've got a running game like you've got, the running game doesn't affect the outside passing game as much as it does the inside, because those linebackers have got to honor the run. Every time he makes a fake to Zeke, those linebackers have to honor it. They have to hold up in there, and so he's got open throwing lanes over the middle. That means Jason Witten and Cole Beasley and those guys. So it wasn't. The only thing they were thinking about was they weren't thinking about trying to get Dez in the game or get him going. It was more, give Dak throws that he can complete, some easy completions, especially early in the game.
All right, we're talking to Danny White with us here on Tiki and Tierney, CBS Sports Radio. Dan, I sometimes it kind of paints a misleading picture, but I heard a lot of Packer fans in the building yesterday. That was pretty audible through my TV set. Was it as pronounced in person? They found their way in, huh?
Well, there were a lot, but to be honest with you, there weren't as many as I thought there would be. The Packers, of course, are one of the most popular teams in the country, but it was a good 9-1, maybe 19-1 Cowboy fans over Packer fans, and it started in the middle of the season. It started in the Tampa game. The Tampa game was the first game in AT&T Stadium where I saw the crowd actually have an impact on the game, because they had to go to the silent count, and you saw the Cowboy defensive line beating the Tampa offensive line off the ball because of it. I didn't see that last night. The Packers are so good at the silent count. That it didn't seem to have an effect on them. Now, they had to go to the silent count because of the noise. There's no question about that. But they're so good at it, it doesn't seem to even faze them.
Yeah, no, and Aaron Rodgers, the things that he does, whether it's catching guys running off the field in a free play that resulted in a touchdown, he can play with pace or he can slow it down. That command is something that it's hard to imagine. And at this point in the season, You got to like your chances of Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback, even though they do have to go on the road to try to win it in the NFC Championship game.
Well, yeah, and it's two of the great best quarterbacks in the league right now, that are going up against each other. But what Aaron does is he's the complete package. He uses all the tools. He uses that no huddle. I've never seen a team line up as fast in my life as they do when he calls the no huddle and he makes a signal and everybody runs to their spot. They snap the ball, and there were 3 or 4 times last night that he caught the Cowboys defense out of position, and he does it at the right time. Timing is everything, and he does it when it's 3rd and 4.5, and they get a 5-yard penalty and they get a free first down, or at a critical point in the game, or to get into field goal range, or he's always got a reason to do it. He doesn't just do it to do it. And the guy is just incredible. But the throws that he makes, and the Cowboys did a great job of flushing him to his left, which you always want to do with a right-handed quarterback. But it doesn't matter to him. He threw that ball to Jared Cook, that last pass, one of the great throws I've ever seen in my life.
I couldn't agree more.
Running full speed to his left. He had to throw it over a Cowboy defender and drop it on the sideline, and then Cook makes a great play. That play, ended up being the ball game.
It was brilliant. Sometimes we didn't see some players, and we kind of overlook or gloss over or even, minimize, even if it's not intentional. So I want to ask you this, Danny, because you came up in the 70s. Obviously, you were watching football in the 60s as a younger man. I don't think, at least from what I've seen, that I've ever seen a quarterback with the arm talent of Rodgers combined with the quickness and the elusiveness and just the hand-foot coordination. Are we missing anybody on that scale of greatness? No.
No, I totally agree with you. His ability to move around and buy time. He's got unbelievable, number one, peripheral vision, in that he can see the rush, he can see the openings, without taking his eyes off the receivers. He's looking downfield all the time, and he's moving around, and it's all with his peripheral vision. He sees colors, or I don't know, there's something pathological about his ability to see where the pressure is. And they wore that defensive line out. Now, Rod Marinelli has been brilliant all year at rotating those 8 defensive linemen in and out, and they wore them out. They at the end of the game, they were dead beat from chasing Aaron Rodgers around, and I've never seen that. One of the great traits of this Cowboys team was, number one, they control the ball, and so their defense is fresh. But then they've got that rotation going where they keep fresh guys in the game. But he wore them out, just moving around. And you're right, the arm strength, he can be backing up and flip the ball 40 yards down the field. And I've never seen a quarterback that could do that, ever. And running to his left, moving to his right. He very rarely ever sets his feet to throw the ball. And that's very unique.
Certainly more impactful coming from you than former Cowboys quarterback, part of the Cowboys broadcast team as well with us here on Tiki and Tierney.
Danny, you're around this team every week, and this narrative will come up now because of the clocking decision by Dak, which came from Jason Garrett to stop the clock, which gave Aaron Rodgers that time, that 35 seconds to go down and score, which brings the question back to Jason Garrett. I love Jason. I've known him for a long time. He was a backup quarterback when I was with the Giants. He's a smart guy. We all know that. But is he the guy to lead this Cowboys team back to the Super Bowl and win one? It's been a long time, 20-plus years now.
Yeah. No, I think he is. I think he is. They just, and this would have been the year if they hadn't run up against the hottest team and the hottest quarterback in the league right now. We all talk about peaking at the right time, and the Cowboys have been playing at that high level all year. But the Packers, when they were 4-6, he called it. Aaron called it. He said, we got to win out. And they've been playing playoff games now for 8 weeks, 9 weeks. Because every game was a game they had to win. So they've been playing at that level now for a long time, and the Cowboys just got the bad luck of the draw. and it was either play at the team that's beaten them twice, the Giants, or play the hottest team in the league, which is the Packers, and they just kind of got a bad draw. But it was a great football game, and it was what you like to see because there weren't big mistakes made. And I don't think the clocking call was necessarily bad. You don't know how quickly you're going to score, and you just want to get the points. And you got to have some confidence in your defense. You've got to.
Yeah.
And
I didn't like that call at all, Danny. I felt I didn't like that one bit. I thought that was terrible.
Yeah. Well, if they don't make just a miraculous play, I mean, that was a greater play than the catch. That was a greater throw and a greater catch. And so I would take those odds all day, at winning that game. So I think they made all the right decisions. I think they played hard. I think they made a few mistakes. The penalties hurt them at times. But, I just think it came down to the team with the ball last was going to win that game.
Danny, good perspective. We always appreciate you hopping on. Obviously in totality, a good season. Bitter pill to swallow. I think many of us thought you guys would be in Houston, but always good catching up, my man. Maybe we'll see you out there.